Good afternoon, everybody. I think it's afternoon. See what time it is. Yeah, it's afternoon. Today is Thursday, April 29th. Just again, things on my mind, things I want to talk about. I'm probably going to get a little heated this time because I got to tell you, I'm more than a little pissed off about what's going on around us, what's in the news, what the news sees fit to report on, what people say as opposed to what they do. It's maddening. I don't know what other word to use for it. Right now in Richmond, pretty much daily, if you turn on the TV or if you look at the newspaper or listen to the radio, there's been another shooting. This past week, we had a group of women and children at an apartment complex sitting and playing in a courtyard at the apartment complex. And some guys come by and decide they're just going to start shooting up the place. Now, of course, the left, the Democrats, the media, the liberals, the activists, they all want to blame the guns. You know, the guns were just walking by, minding their own business, and all of a sudden they just went off. You know, guns do that. They'll just, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they'll just go off by themselves, start shooting up things. You know that, right? That's how guns work. The fact is, some people, I was going to say human beings, but people that would do something like that are not human. There's something wrong with them. Somewhere in the evolutionary process, some genes skipped a beat. Because I can't explain it. Maybe you can. Maybe you can explain to me why men, women, whatever color, would just be walking along and decide they want to shoot up a place, knowing damn well that there are kids out there and that there are women out there with the kids, the mothers are with them, and they're just going to go by and start shooting it up. So a mother and her 3-month-old child are dead now. Others were wounded. 3 black men have been arrested. Oh, did I mention that the victims, the dead woman and the dead 3-month-old child, were also black? Hey, Black Lives Matter, where are you on this one? Huh? Haven't seen you in the news. Haven't heard you protesting. Haven't heard you saying anything about what needs to be done to change the culture in the black community. Oh, Floyd, how could you say such a thing? Yeah, how could I? Because I know if you don't already think I'm a racist, you're going to after this video. And not because I am. People who know me know better, or they should. You're going to think I'm a racist because I'm going to say some things that I'm not supposed to say. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to make points about things, about the stupidity of the way people think that are going to get me labeled a racist. Not because I am, but because it's easier for the left to deal with that way. They don't have to think about things. They don't have to examine themselves and their own ideas and their own culture and their own way of doing things. Just call somebody a racist and the conversation's over. Well, I don't care. You can call me any kind of son of a bitch you want to. At some point in your private time, when no one else is around and can hear you or talk to you or interfere with you, you're going to have to think about some of this stuff. If you're honest with yourself, now you may not be honest with anyone else. You may want to push the agenda. You may be more concerned about your politics than you are the people around you. You may be more concerned with your political party and its agenda than you are with facts and reality. But at some point, you're going to have to think about this stuff because nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to get better until you're willing to address it. And stop pointing your fingers and stop blaming every damn buddy else. You're going to have to start looking in the mirror. Now, I know that hurts. I know you don't want to hear that. But there it is. And if that makes me a racist or if that makes me insensitive, fine, I can live with that. Call me whatever you want to call me. But let's look at some of this stuff. I've got some news articles I've pulled up here. And there's a common thread in all this. And I'll leave it to you to figure out. Well, no, I won't. I'm going to tell you what it is. All right, we've got Channel 6 News here in Richmond. CBS 6, infant and mother killed in Richmond shooting. Okay. A 30-year-old mother and her 3-month-old daughter were killed Tuesday in a shooting outside the Belt Atlantic Apartments. Richmond Police Chief Gerald Smith said at a Wednesday morning press conference addressing the violence in South Richmond. Excuse me. A 29-year-old woman, a 15-year-old girl, and an 11-year-old girl were also injured in the shooting and now considered to be in stable condition, the chief said. Now, you got to ask yourself, what did these women and children do that these 3 black men so far who have been arrested for this felt that they needed to shoot them and risk killing all of them? As it turns out, only 2 of them were killed, but it could have been all 5 of them. Why? Come on, BLM activist. Come on, Mr. and Mrs. Liberal. Come on, Democrat politician. Explain this shit to me. Help me to understand. What did those women and children do that justified being shot? Can you tell me? Is there a reason? What were these 3 black men hoping to accomplish with this? What was the point they were trying to make? What was the reason? Was it vengeance for something? Did one of the women say something to them to hurt their feelings? Are they trying to develop some street cred so they can cut a new rap album? You better think about this stuff, because I got a news flash for you. Everything I'm going to read to you, every news article I'm going to cite here, it's black on black crime. It ain't redneck white folks from the country driving into town and shooting up black folks. It ain't the Klan. It ain't cops. It ain't white racism. It isn't systemic racism. It's black people shooting and killing other black people. But I don't hear you talking about that. I don't hear you talking about that BLM or Antifa or Biden or Harris or any other piece of crap Democrat politician. But boy, you let a white cop shoot a black person, even if the black person should have been shot, and oh my God, that's on the news 24/7 for the next 2 weeks. And we have to do something about systemic racism. Yes, there are things that need to be fixed. I've said it before. This is nothing new. I'm not new to this subject. We do need police reform in a lot of ways. And when a police officer is wrong, when he shoots somebody unjustifiably, he should be held to account. But Mr. and Mrs. Black America, Mr. and Mrs. Liberal, Mr. and Mrs. Democrat politician, white cops are not the biggest problem that the black community in this country faces. It's simply not. You can look at the statistics. Anywhere you want to go, FBI, local police, whatever. If you're a black man or woman in this country, you're more likely to be killed by another black man or woman than you are by a white person. So explain to me how systemic racism is causing that. Are you really that stupid? Are you going to kill each other because you think white people are racist? Explain it. I need to understand this because, frankly, it doesn't make a damn bit of sense to me. Got an article from the National Review. Now, this is dated June 25th of 2020. Understating black on black murders. I'll read a little bit of it to you. About 3 weeks ago, we published my column. This is from the author of the column, Andrew McCarthy. We published my column, The Institutional Racism Canard. In it, I made a point about black on black murders, drawing on FBI statistics from 2016. Though the data I drew from the published stats was accurate, there are caveats that I did not explain. When additional information is factored in, the problem is even worse than I suggested. Specifically, I noted that Powerline's Paul Mirengoff, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, had drawn on FBI crime statistics for 2016 in support of the proposition that of 776 black on white homicides, blacks committed 533 and whites 243. I ended the paragraph with my own observation. Neither of these numbers, by the way, nor their combined total, comes anywhere close to the number of blacks killed by whites, of blacks killed by blacks, a staggering, get this number, 2,570. I'm going to say that number again. 2,570 black men killed, the overwhelming majority male. So in black-white murders, black people killing white people killing black people, blacks killed 533 whites, while whites killed 243 blacks. So if there's racism involved in this stuff, what would the numbers indicate to you? Who would they indicate is the most racist? If we're going to go with numbers. But of black on black crime, of black people killing other black people, majority male, 2,570. This goes back to 2016. Has it gotten any better? Are black people not killing each other anymore? And the reason I address this stuff, the reason it makes me so angry is because it's senseless. It's stupid. It makes no sense. It's Americans. They are Americans killing each other in our communities across the country. Is that really what you want? Do you really want to have to live around that? Do you really want to see that? Do you really want your fellow Americans, black or white, killing each other? And for what? Because when you dig down deep into some of these things, the reasons for this stuff are just absolutely insane. It's that machismo. Well, he dissed me. Well, he was on the wrong street corner. I mean, you got to start thinking about this stuff, people. All right. This goes back to last weekend. Now, today is April 29th. So I'm going back to the weekend of April 24th and 25th. Okay? This is in Chicago, Illinois, which happens to be the place where you can find the most of this. 3 killed, 21 wounded in weekend shootings in Chicago. And that's low numbers. I've seen weekends that were worse than that. And you have too. Don't play stupid. Don't pretend this isn't out there. Don't pretend you haven't seen it yourself. 3 killed, 21 wounded, 2 days in Chicago. Why? What's the purpose of it? What's the reason for it? Who's to blame? You going to blame white people for that? You going to blame white cops for that? Systemic racism? You're going to have to really explain to me and some others how systemic racism, white racism, has anything to do with black people killing each other every day. It makes no sense. This is from NBC 12 News here in Richmond. This is dated April 26th. Police, 14-year-old charged in deadly shooting of Richmond teen. From the article, police say a 14-year-old has been charged in connection to the deadly shooting of a Richmond 15-year-old. Police were called to the 2300 block of Afton Avenue just after 4:45 p.m. on April 8th for the report of a shooting. Now, you might know that, well, some of you do, most of you don't. One of our family supermarkets that we used to own, Jean's Supermarket, was in the 2500 block of Afton Avenue. What's in the 2300 block? Section 8 apartment housing. That has been since the early 80s, a predominantly black neighborhood. Now, you can get mad at me if you want to. You can start throwing the racist word at me if you want to. I'm just stating the demographic facts. You can drive down there yourself if you want to and check it out for yourself. But you're not going to check it out, are you? Because that requires work. And because it might challenge your narrative. Well, we can't have a white guy telling us what the problem is. What does he know? Well, I just know what I see and what I hear. That's all I can go with. If you got something else that I'm missing here, nobody's telling me about, let me know. But a 14-year-old shot a 15-year-old to death. Number one, where's a 14-year-old getting his hands on a gun? Number two, what possesses him to think that the way to solve a problem is to shoot somebody? Now, when I was 14 and 15 years old, if you wanted to fight with somebody, that's what you did. You had a fight with them. Maybe one or both of you got hurt, but you made your point. You let the guy know that he wasn't going to mess with you anymore, and you got up and went about your business. Nowadays, no, I'm just going to shoot him. Where does that come from? Come on, guys. You need to think about this because, again, you want to blame everything on white people. You want to blame everything on racism. But it ain't white people coming into your neighborhoods and shooting other black people. Now, you're going to have to deal with this reality. Blaming it on me and other white folks is not going to fix the problem because we are not the ones killing you. Is that really so hard for you to understand? April 17th. This is from the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Richmond police investigate fatal shooting on East Broad Street. A man died from an apparent gunshot wound, suffered Monday morning in the parking lot of a business in the 1700 block of East Broad Street, Richmond. Well, I got a news flash for you. I know where that is too. You know what's in the 1700 block? You know who lives down there? Yeah, you know. But again, white racism. Had to be white folks doing it, right? Probably some good old boys from out in Mechanicsville got their Confederate battle flags flying from their pickup truck. And they said, hey, let's ride down on Broad Street and shoot us somebody. That's how it works, right? I mean, that systemic racism you're talking about. It's white folks doing it, right? Bunch of morons. This is NBC 12 from April 28th. That was yesterday. 3 arrested, more suspects sought in shooting that left 3-month-old and mother dead. Now, I'm looking at the picture right here of the 3 who have been arrested so far. And it's 3 black males. And yeah, I'm going to keep saying it. I don't care if it pisses you off or not. You need to hear it. The woman killed was a black woman. The 3-month-old baby that was killed was black. The 3 men who have been arrested so far for killing them are black. It wasn't a rogue cop. It wasn't a racist white cop. It wasn't a couple of rednecks from out in the country riding in hoping to shoot them a Negro. It was black people killing other black people. Get mad at me if you want to. I can feel those knees jerking now. I know you're pissed off. I know you're angry. I know you just want to reach through that monitor and jerk a knot in me, don't you? But tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong. It wasn't white folks doing this. And if you look at the shootings that have taken place in Richmond over the past couple of months, look at the neighborhoods where they happen. Look at the housing projects where they happen. Look at who the victims are. And then when they make an arrest, look at who the perpetrator is. It ain't white folks doing it. Now, I'm not trying to pretend there is no racism out there. But if you're going to blame your lot in life and everything bad that happens to you on racism, then you're myopic at best. You need to open your eyes and look around. I think about all the things that have led up to this, all this going on in our culture, the politics, the agendas, the activists, and everything that they had to say. Number one, back to the original point. Where the hell is BLM? Where are you? Come on, Black Lives Matter. What are you doing about this? What are you doing in the neighborhoods? Oh, you're raising lots of money, which does two things. One, goes to the Democrat Party for their political campaigns, and two, helps some of the leadership of BLM buy new homes. How's that make you feel? You feel used yet? Huh? Is BLM putting any of that money back into the black community that they care so much about? Put something in the comment section for me. If I'm wrong, if they're actually doing something to help the black community other than rioting and looting, let me know what it is. I'm open to learning new things. Are you? Now, another issue that is part of all of this, especially in the South, especially here in Richmond, we got to get rid of those statues, those Confederate monuments, those Confederate statues. They're oppressive. They remind us of oppression, and they create stress in our lives. When we see those statues, we think about the slavery of our past, and it creates a stressful situation for us. So the city of Richmond spends, what, a couple $1 million getting rid of some statues. We got 2 left, A.P. Hill and Robert E. Lee. So are we going to say that the current spat of murders in the black community in Richmond is because we still have 2 statues left? Are those damn statues causing all this? Is that oppression and the memory of slavery what's behind all this? If we get rid of those last 2 statues, are things going to get better? I mean, let's look at all the statues and monuments that have been removed so far. Mr. and Mrs. Black American, Mr. and Mrs. Liberal, Mr. and Mrs. Democrat politician. How's life better now? Huh? Have things improved in the black community? Are you feeling better about yourself now because those statues are gone? If we get rid of the remainder of the statues, is that going to make things better? You going to stop killing each other then? Get angry with me if you want to. Call me the names that you want to call me. But tell me where I'm wrong. If getting rid of those statues was supposed to be such a boon for your community, explain to me why you're still killing each other. All you've done with this issue is manage to alienate another part of the community, another part of the population of America, and to continue those divisions that the politicians want so badly to happen. Those statues have been there for 100 years or more. Never bothered anybody before, but only in the past 10 or 12 years since Obama got into office. All of a sudden now they're an issue. Oh, they're offensive. Oh, we got to do something about that. Okay. You've done something about it. Good for you. Now, how has that made your life better? What's it going to take to get you to stop killing each other, Black America? Murder is murder. I don't care who does it to who. It's wrong. But if you're going to sit there and wag your finger at people or take to the streets and burn and loot and riot and demand racial justice, while at the same time you're killing each other in record numbers every year, then your complaints are falling on deaf ears as far as I'm concerned. I don't take you seriously. It means nothing to me. Until you clean up your own house, until you're willing to address the problems that you're dealing with in your own community, don't come wagging your finger at me. I'm not the one coming into Richmond or any other urban area and shooting Black people. For all the complaints about conservatives or libertarians or gun owners or whatever, we're not the ones killing you. And you need to sit there and think about that for a minute. Your life is in danger, greater danger, from your fellow Black citizens than it is from any white person. Now, you can be mad at me for saying that if you want to. Check the statistics. FBI, local police, whatever. It ain't me doing it. I don't know any white people who are doing it. And I know a lot of white people. And some of those white people may be racist. They may not like Black people simply because they're Black. But they're not the ones killing you. I can say without hesitation and without fear of contradiction that as white as I am, I'm not riding into the city and shooting Black folks. You can see behind me, you can see my flag there. I know that Confederate battle flag just, oh man, that triggers people. You don't want to think beyond that symbol. Well, why would he have that? You don't see the American flag. You don't see the Virginia state flag. You just see the Confederate battle flag. And you immediately jump to, he's a racist. He must be a racist. He has to be. Only racists display that flag. Really? That's where you are now. That's as far as you can think it through. Can't be anything else to it. It's got to be the flag. And if it's a flag that you don't like, that makes them a racist. All right. You want to think I'm a racist? Go ahead. Nothing I can do about that. I can tell you I'm not, but if you don't want to believe me, that's fine. But know this. I'm not the one riding into town shooting people. I don't know anybody who is. And if I did know them, I wouldn't be associated with them. There's only one reason for shooting somebody, and that's in self-defense. And I would hope I never find myself in that position again. How about you? What are you willing to shoot somebody for? Just because they made you mad? Because of your machismo? Well, he dissed me in front of some other people, and I can't let him get away with that, so I'm going to have to show him who the tough guy is here. Trying to work on your street cred. I mean, come on, guys. You got to think about it. If you're going to fix it, you have to address the root cause of the issues. And the root cause of the issues in the Black community, whether you like it or not, it ain't white folks. There's something else involved here, something else going on. And if you're not willing to deal with it, then nothing's going to get better. You can blame it on whoever you want. You can wag your finger, point at other people, call them names. But until you address the issues yourself in your own community, until you clean your own house up, nothing's going to get better. I hope you take some time and think about this. I know you're going to be mad at me for saying some of these things, for pointing these things out. But once you settle down a little bit and calm down and start to actually think about these things, maybe then you can start to fix them.